Supreme Being. Greetings, Superior Beings. Greetings, Supreme Being. Welcome to my live hangout on air. Channel is Ulrich BC Hoffman on YouTube. My mic is a bit soft, otherwise it starts feedbacking. Feedback. So we start with some royalty-free music. This is Arius. I like
Join the I Am Anti-Human Cowling and Depopulation community on Facebook. https www.facebook.com/pages/I-am-anti-human-cowling-and-depopulation /15104509925131173. Please like me and spread the info to prevent being depopulated yourself. I would like to start off with the fact that depopulation, genocide and democide are in violation of the Genocide Convention and a gross violation of standards of common decency. Killing one person is illegal already, let alone killing 7 billion people, which the Georgia Guidestones of Mr. Rockefeller donated under the pseudonym of Robert Christian suggest, and Nazi eugenics is illegal as well. The taxpayers have paid tax money to be protected and served by the government, not tortured and exterminated like vermin with hybrid insects, chemtrails, global CIAs, evergreen air, GMOs, food as a weapon, illegal laws, BFSA, NDAA, a European version EAW, poison tap water, self-lobotomizing, replicating, lipid, nanotechnology, scalar weapons, wars, false flags, the airborne Ebola laws, the Chimera virus, and zombifying, lobotomizing, killer vaccines, and other slow and soft kill methods. We exposed and thus prevented. Create a perfect society in which we all will live eternally, which is really possible because everything is energy. Google active measures. Phase 1 demoralization. Phase 2 destabilization. Phase 3 crisis. Phase 4 normalization is when the tanks roll in. Military state, not a police state. Obama, real name Barry Sayadoro Davis, is guilty of treason and Obama is not the president. Jesuit infant eaters control the Supreme Court and the cancer HAARP, test those death ray, expose them and unite. Also expose controlled opposition. Kill people that advocate depopulating the earth in violation of the Genocide Convention if they have killed or tortured more than one person to death. Not to redeem a murderer from the death penalty for money, and Abraham stood up and slew the Egyptian. One who knows of evidence must testify. According to some believers, you may break any commandment to save a human life except for the 3 cardinal sins. The insane preemptive nuclear doctrine is in violation of the Genocide Convention. Herb and synthetic telepathy violate your rights to physical integrity and privacy. They have poisoned you and your family and our planet beyond repair. They must pay. Justice must be done. Before these loonies kill us all. Hang Obama the foul troll because he is guilty of treason after a fair trial and proper punishment equals justice. They are all Jesuit controlled anyway, so Biden would do the same thing. Two wrongs do not make a right. Obama is not the president and Michelle Obama is a man. Even if Obama would be the real president, he is not because of his fake birth certificate. He is guilty of treason. 1. Illegal laws such as the BFSA labeling all U.S. citizens as enemy combatants during emergencies such as an Ebola bomb attack of the CIA's ISIS. 2. Granting legal immunity to genocidal companies instead of bona fide pharmaceutical companies. 3. War crimes also covered a bit by Amnesty International. Google Obama's hang Obama the fell troll because he is guilty of treason after a fair trial and proper punishment equals justice. They are all Jesuit-controlled anyway, so Biden would do the same thing. Two wrongs do not make a right. Obama is not the president and Michelle Obama is a man. Even if Obama would be the real president, which he is not because of his fake birth certificate, he is guilty of treason. 1. Illegal laws such as the BFSA labeling all U.S. citizens as enemy combatants during emergencies such as an Ebola bomb attack of the CIA's ISIS. 2. Granting legal immunity to genocidal companies instead of bona fide pharmaceutical companies. 3. War crimes also covered a bit by Amnesty International. Google Obama's treason. A fake impeachment is usually started by the Jesuit infant-eating pedophiles that have tortured my mother to death with HAARP. Barry Soetoro Davis Obama is guilty of treason because 1. He passed illegal laws, which we know because to circumvent congressional laws with signing statements which he did in the case of the NDAA. Obama also passed other illegal laws. The BFSA labeling all U.S. citizens as enemy combatants and only giving the shadow government blue transponder protection. The kill switch switching off all cancer cell phone antennas to disrupt communication just when you need it the most to produce mass genocide. The kill list is alright though. The NDAA, European version EAW, European arrest warrant. Barry Soetoro Davis Obama is guilty of treason because 1. He passed illegal laws, which we know because a president is not allowed to circumvent congressional laws with signing statements, which he did in the case of the NDAA. Obama also passed other illegal laws. The BFSA labeling all U.S. citizens as enemy combatants and only giving the shadow government blue transponder protection. The kill switch switching off all cancer cell phone antennas to disrupt communication just when you need it the most to produce mass genocide. The kill list is alright though. The NDAA, European version EAW, European arrest warrant, is illegal because it is in violation of the UDHR and international laws and constitutions to allow indefinite detention without any reason or a fair trial, and it is illegal to torture anyone, especially without a fair trial. 2. Granting legal immunity to a company that shipped out deadly products 3 times. Baxter, heparin, factor 8 and a slow-kill brain-eating vaccine with life instead of deactivated viruses, and granting legal immunity to a company that has produced DDT, Agent Orange and aluminum-resistant seed to create an illegal GMO food as a weapon, monopoly in combination with illegal chemtrails, CIA's Evergreen Air, to make farmers that do not use aluminum-resistant seed go out of business. The cancer-causing barium and nano, pronounced nano, bots are there to form internal computers to eventually take over the brains of the 500 million people that are left to remotely control them as slaves. See illegal Georgia Guidestones. 3. War crimes. People nominated for the Nazi Nobel Prize are all controlled oppositionists, and Barry Soetoro Davis Obama is guilty of treason because 1. He passed illegal laws, which we know because a president is not allowed to circumvent congressional laws with signing statements, which he did in the case of the NDAA. Obama also passed other illegal laws. The BFSA labeling all U.S. citizens as enemy combatants and only giving the shadow government blue transponder protection. The kill switch switching off all cancer cell phone antennas to disrupt communication just when you need it the most to produce mass genocide. The kill list is alright though. The NDAA, European version EAW, European arrest warrant, is illegal because it is in violation of the UDHR and international laws and constitutions to allow indefinite detention without any reason or a fair trial, and it is illegal to torture anyone, especially without a fair trial. 2. Granting legal immunity to a company that shipped out deadly products 3 times. Baxter, heparin, factor 8 and a slow-kill brain-eating vaccine with life instead of deactivated viruses, and granting legal immunity to a company that has produced DDT, Agent Orange and aluminum-resistant seed, an illegal GMO food as a weapon, monopoly in combination with illegal chemtrails, CIA's Evergreen Air, to make farmers that do not use aluminum-resistant seed go out of business. The chemtrails, mainly cancer-causing barium and nano, pronounced nano, bots are there to form internal computers to eventually take over the brains of the 500 million people that are left to remotely control them as slaves. See illegal Georgia Guidestones. 3. War crimes. People nominated for the Nazi Nobel Prize are all controlled opposition used and nominated. 2. Granting legal immunity to a company that shipped out deadly products 3 times, Baxter, heparin, factor 8 and a slow-kill brain-eating vaccine with life instead of deactivated viruses, and granting legal immunity to a company that has produced DDT, Agent Orange and aluminum-resistant C to create an illegal GMO food as a weapon. Monopoly in combination with illegal chemtrails, CIA's Evergreen Air, farm use aluminum-resistant seed go out of business. The chemtrails mainly cancer-causing pronounced nano bots are there to form internal computers to eventually take over the brains of the 500 million people that are left to remotely control them as slaves. See illegal Georgia Guidestones. 3. War crimes. People nominated for the Nazi Nobel Prize are all controlled opposition used and nominated by the Jesuit-controlled Nazi Nobel Committee. C. Amnesty International accuses Obama of war crimes. These 3 crimes which make Barry Soetoro Davis Obama guilty of war crimes are just a tip of the iceberg. First day in office, Obama signed an executive order blocking the release of his long-form birth certificate. So he is not really the president. And if he is guilty of war crimes and Obama deserves to be hanged after a fair trial. Obama signs executive order barring release of his birth certificate July 19, 2009 Executive Order 13,489. I think all forms of torture are illegal and I cannot think of any reason to allow it. Torturers are terrorists and of course they are continuing the Mengele programs which is called Nazi Project Paperclip. Google the words Wixiblog, W-I-X and the word Ebola with a letter G attached to it, Wixiblog to find out how the loonies want to kill you and 7 billion people of planet Earth for Mr. Rockefeller with his illegal Nazi eugenics depopulation program and cancer-inducing Earth, Tesla's death ray. There are 12 scalar weapon countries so produce your own healing scalar waves, no one else will do it for you. Join I Am Anti-Human Culling and Depopulation on Facebook. Or die. Stay proactive rather than reactive. Do not join in their illegal activities and leave a trail of evidence to create a better future for all, including yourself. Do not be a slave of your emotions induced with synthetic telepathy. Use logic. Make your own survival is all strategy. Join the I Am Against Human Culling and Anti-Depopulation community on Facebook. Tinfoil hat. Conspiracy to commit genocide, absolutely right. Is this the train of thought we choose to ride? The future is not set. There is no fate but what we make for ourselves. Sane people will ally against evil so that they don't have to live in the midst of evil. Join the I Am Anti-Human Culling and Depopulation community on Facebook, or die. Crocodile eater. All meat eaters eat them pork. A U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, study found that more than 99% of broiler chicken carcasses sold in stores had detectable levels of E. coli, indicating fecal contamination. In other words, if you're eating chicken flesh, you're almost certainly eating poop. Consumer Reports states that there are 1.1 million or more Americans sickened each year by undercooked, tainted chicken. 4. No one stands up for chickens. 9080 Borg. PAIN. My name is God and I am a targeted individual. AI. I can see. Target dead individuals. Electromagnetic brain blaster herba. Break the Pato network system, the depopulation system, the directed energy weapon torture system. Break these systems. Oh yeah. And fuck tyranny. Emergency. Who moves to final phase clinical 3 in Ebola-affected countries. Skips the 2 trials for Ebola vaccine which could give people Ebola altogether. January 9, 2015. Emergency DC. GSK Ebola vaccine is made of a common cold virus and the Ebola virus, the same combination as an AIDS vaccine which gave people AIDS. Ebola vaccine could arrive in the UK as the Medical Innovation Bill becomes law, allowing for doctors to give people the jab with full legal immunity. 100 UK doctors sign letter against bill. Oh yeah. And fuck tyranny. Emergency. Who moves to final phase clinical 3 trials in Ebola-affected countries. skips phase 2 trials for Ebola vaccine which could give people Ebola altogether. January 9, 2015. Emergency DC. GSK Ebola vaccine is made of a common cold virus and the Ebola virus, the same combination as an AIDS vaccine which gave people AIDS. Ebola vaccine could arrive in the UK as the Medical Innovation Bill becomes law, allowing for doctors to give people the jab with full legal immunity. 100 UK doctors sign letter against bill allowing for uncontrolled experimentation, about to happen with Ebola vaccine. Unprecedented, says Dr. Margaret Chan. Unprecedented deregulation could endanger lives. Vaccine trials lack even appearance of legitimacy and scientific basis. CDC whistleblower exposes Ebola vaccinations containing RFID chips. Posted by Jazzy800 on November 19, 2014. https zeitgeist77.wordpress.com category pandemic Ebola-14 page /3 87789996666FF. Okay. Did you know that Barack Hussein Obama is forcing U.S. troops to handle the dead bodies of Ebola victims? Did you also know that Ebola is a lot more contagious on dead bodies than on living ones? A Department of Defense memo confirms that 2D personnel, which include troops and civilians, will have direct contact with exposed remains of Ebola victims. ISIS may be weaponizing Ebola, Spanish government warns. November 8, 2014. Ebola virus lives in human sperm for 70 to 90 plus days. Knowledge is power. Ebola vaccines equals 666 in English gematria. NIH. We may have to vaccinate whole countries to stop Ebola outbreaks. Center for Disease Control. Eileen K. October 6, 2014 at 7:19 a.m. This is genocide, pure and simple. And those committing this genocide will receive their just desserts. These mass murderers may escape earthly justice, but divine justice will be awaiting them the moment they die. Deliberately injecting unsuspecting people with the Ebola virus is murder. Period. Saying it's a clinical trial or test is no excuse whatsoever. They know what they're doing when they inject the deadly virus into someone's body. They know that those they inject will develop the disease and die a horrible death. And that is capital murder. God knows best how many humans can populate the earth and still maintain a healthy balance of the planet's ecosystem. He never set a population limit of 500,000 worldwide. And anyone who says he did is lying, pure and simple. Telling them the truth about their supposedly flawless doctrine might be best, so they become normal and join us in the creation of a perfect society in which all life forms will live happily eternally, which is possible because everything is energy. Let love rule. Unbelieved. January 19, 2015. The pedo Jesuits have been attempting to induce cancer in me again with a beam I can feel on my hand, attacking my heart, and have attempted to murder me by inducing a brain bleeding. They will kill 7 billion people and nobody can stop them because they have the death ray and can kill anyone instantly and control the Supreme Court. They want to make it look like suicide. Let victims commit suicide so it looks like the victims did it themselves, not the NSA. The Jesuits will kill you all. They have tortured all teeth out of my mouth and are also attempting to destroy my immune system, burn my skin, cause pain in my body with a beam I can feel with my hands, so I am 100% certain it is done with a beam. I have determined the direction of the beam by accident by placing a grounded Van der Graaf generator between the tortured body part and the beam, which partially deflected the torture beam onto other body parts. They are also burning my eyes in the morning and dissolving my spine, which they have done to a number of other targeted individuals, TIs. Now I claim I'm a TI because not claiming it did not stop their illegal torture attacks. The torture is done by ultra-sadistic people that have also tortured my mother to death. Please stop these insane murderers that usurp to torture innocent vegetarians, role model citizens like me that attempted to press charges against people that want to reduce the world's global population with 80 to 93% twice at their local police station. When you are injected with a killer vaccine at gunpoint after a level 6 pandemic is declared by Margaret Chan of the WHO, it's too late. Unite to prevent their planned genocide. Deliberately injecting unsuspecting people with the Ebola virus is murder. Period. Saying it's a clinical trial or test is no excuse whatsoever. So I predict GMO cis, GMO, SF5, G, cis, Ebola bomb in LA, Washington, New York, in cooperation with the Sportflame, Mercurol, Tritobots and the Gnostical Troll. The pedo elite might hide at sea during world wars and global cooling in their $6 billion supercomputer designed yanked Rockefeller, Gates, Soros, Chen Clandan, Jesus Lives Lie, Go Nuclear Waste. The civil army and guns cannot protect you against the DoD. The Talon robot army and Predator drones are ready. And so is BO's illegal BFSA. Resistance is victory. Because compliance is death. They're gonna kill 7 billion people with home quarantines and killer vaccines, okay? DoD equals death ray equals HERPA. During our first Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign, which ran from August 8, 2012 to October 8, 2012, the team traveled the country, did a few dozen radio shows, and got the word out internationally with the help of a growing fan base. As a result, over $61,000 was raised for the project. The key to peace is education. Knowledge is power. InSpower.com more. Who would Jesus bomb? After they are bombed or when they hear it go off? I did not see Soros cutting penises of boys. Liberty equals tyranny. PLO shares into swords. Swords equals Talon robot army. Lipido nanotechnology for me. If they paid for these FEMA camps and guillotines with our tax money, let them hang for it. If they advocate killing US citizens, hang them or kill them if there is no other way to prevent their illegal planned genocide. Twitter.com/FOCHIK, spelled with FOCHIK, follow. The Real Abnormal, @FOCHIK, skip to 520 on video penis cut off by Margaret Soros Prince Friesa military hunting party for kids penis http://yahoo.be/ VHIRLOHGTRC BFSANDAADNE FSBFSA Active Measures Phase 4 Ideological Subversion. Normalization is when the tanks roll in. A military state, not a police state. Alex Jones's controlled opposition as are Kevin Annett, Benjamin Fulford, David Icke and others. My first hangout on air, share cancel. Start. Install the Hangouts plugin to get started. You'll enter the video call as soon as the plugin is installed. It's free and installs in seconds. For Windows XP Plus, Mac OS X 10.5 Plus, Linux, invite guests. Your YouTube account is connected to your Google Plus page or profile. This Hangout on air will be broadcast on Google Plus by Ulrich Hoffman and on your YouTube account, Ulrich Hoffman. I agree to both the Google Plus Hangouts on air terms above and the YouTube terms. Have a Q&A session with your audience. Launch the questions app to have a live Q&A session with your viewers and increase audience engagement. Your microphone is not working or is hardware muted. Testing 1 2. Go live. You are about to broadcast live on Google Plus and YouTube. You can broadcast for up to 8 hours. Everyone is monitored with synthetic telepathy and quantum computers of the NSA, brain mapped, so I advise people not to do anything illegal such as depopulating the earth in violation of the Genocide Convention. Zero Leone. Evil is just a state of mind. Make NSA pay. Distance to Earthly. When the time comes. Live supporter I haven't heard it before. Mr. Moffat. Who their clan. Little Red Book of Femi. FSBFSA. Blue Fox situation. All awareness. Rare audit air. The Hobbit troll is gonna shoot us all up. After declaring a level 6 pandemic, we will be cut up from live supporters. The thing is right. I saw it all. I am our witness. They will kill her with a Twinkie. Do head FEMA. Controlled out position. Perform me cute then. Why I'm so hyposphere. FEMA clams. We don't need the nutty mainstream media. If they are people that advocate killing all unbelievers, which they call heretics, and they have killed many unbelievers already, they must be arrested or killed before they kill more innocent people and poison 7 billion people to death or create another world war for their illegal depopulation in violation of the Genocide Convention. Or not. Remember learned. Yes, began. The kill pill. Yes, we man. They are able to destroy timer clocks by frying the circuitry. So that's why they are not bombed. A sniper rifle might be the only way, or food poisoning. Gee, Mo to a 10-pound baby boy, I don't believe you're lying. It's an ongoing conspiracy. Thanks to Aries-4RC-Beats.com for producing this great royalty of art. Physics of Reality Manipulation. Montauk, March 15, 2001. All rights reserved. Time Travel Research Center. Copyright 2005. Set in BAL. Upon inspection of the Eldridge after this event, men were found implanted in the ship's walls. Others walked around in a psychotic stupor, and the more unfortunate either burst into flames or vaporized when non-victims touched them physically. Very few on board survived in good health, but a close friend knew one such survivor and attests to the story's validity. This friend has passed on some critical information pertaining to how the Philadelphia experiment was conducted, from which some of the following theory is based. Direction of applied frequency. Method. Effect. Third dimension. Electric and magnetic fields cross to produce a rotating gravity field coupled to light, invisibility. Fourth dimension. XYZ coil creates fourth-dimensional field coupled to target objects, teleportation. Fifth dimension. Solitonic gravity field modulates magnetic flux to channel ether around target object, anti-gravity. Sixth dimension. Cajush's coil produces scalar field, time travel. Thanks to Aries-4RC-Beats.com for producing this great royalty-free music.
This article is not online anymore. It used to be on their website. So I only let you read part of the article. And I don't know where you can get the whole article.
Physics of Reality Manipulation. Set in BAL. www.u2.leech.net/setsymbol/physicsfreemanipula.tio.htm. 404 Eridigenous Namadi zamandialculate.com/error404.html.
Universal peace.
You can now read the whole Physics of Reality Manipulation article on u2.leech.net/setinfo. Physics of Reality Manipulation. The main principle. Let's begin by discussing a few basic principles of physical reality vital in understanding how to manipulate it. Orthodox scientists have not been able to accomplish such feats because their education is a limited version of a more general theory where these phenomena are allowable. This is why you may not recognize some of these principles from what is remembered of your high school physics class. But if you read along, it will make sense. This will be kept simple, with non-technical terms and no math, so that anyone can understand this theory and add his own improvements where needed. The Hermetic axiom all is vibration is scientifically true since matter is made of electromagnetic waves. Matter, contrary to our eyes, is actually four-dimensional. It exists in a five-dimensional matrix of ether which provides a medium for electromagnetic waves to exist. This matrix is indeed five-dimensional, but the three-dimensional slice we see in this universe is so thin and moving through space. Each sea of ether is one universe or timeline, and parallel universes are stacked upon one another like flat pancakes to produce a six-dimensional stack correctly labeled as reality. The key to making matter invisible, sending it through space and time, or making it weightless is to utilize vibration in one of these dimensions. In 3D space, you can shake something back and forth, up and down, or left and right with few interesting effects. But reality is composed of more than three dimensions, and creating an electric or magnetic field that grabs onto matter and vibrates it into higher dimensions allows you to alter the characteristics of matter, different characteristics depending on which dimension the direction of vibration. Orthodox scientists are working within the 3D framework and hence are only able to produce the limited technology we see regularly today. Creating these hyperdimensional fields is achieved through special coil geometry and electrification of matter. Here is a table summarizing the techniques to be discussed in the remainder of this article. Direction of applied frequency, method, effect, third dimension, electric and magnetic field cross to produce a direction of applied frequency, method, effect, Third dimension. Electric and magnetic fields cross to produce a rotating gravity field coupled to light. Invisibility. Electric and magnetic fields cross to produce a rotating gravity field coupled to light. Electric and magnetic fields cross to produce a rotating gravity field coupled to light. Fourth dimension. XYZ coil creates fourth-dimensional field coupled to target objects. Teleportation. XYZ coil creates fourth-dimensional field coupled to target objects. Fifth dimension. Solitonic gravity field modulates magnetic flux to channel ether around target object. Anti-gravity. Solitonic gravity field modulates magnetic flux to channel ether around target object. Sixth dimension. Caduceus coil produces scalar field. Time travel. Caduceus coil produces scalar field.
Okay. Universal peace.
Universal peace.
Google the words WIS, W-I-S, and evil lag, the word Ebola with the letter G attached to it, or evil lag, or visit my channel on YouTube, youtube.com/user/ORightPC Hoffman with double F and double N, youtube.com/user/ORightPC Hoffman, or Skype me, Project 999, Project 999.
Out here we is stone immaculate.
Cray. Array. Cray.com, so-called supercomputers founded 1972. Against nanonukes. LSCDC. Do you a job, Tyrannicans. The Tea Party. They control their dick. Deary me. To make us all tax exempt. You're up there. Through the very codes. A screw system. What counts as national security depends on your perspective. Some people consider wars overseas to be national security. Cost of military action against ISIS, every hour. Taxpayers in the United States are paying $312,500 for cost of military action against ISIS. $1,708,680,731. Cost of war in Afghanistan, every hour. Taxpayers in the United States are paying $10.17 million for cost of war in Afghanistan. $779,182,207,462. Cost of war in Iraq, every hour. Taxpayers in the United States are paying $365,297 for cost of war in Iraq. $818,802,961,771. Total cost of war since 2001, every hour. Taxpayers in the United States are paying $10.54 million for total cost of war since 2001. $1,597,885,169,230 January 22, 2015, 13:30. The cost of war.com amount is updated live like the population statistics counter. Top 3 most populous countries. 1. China 1,361,512,535. 2. India 1,251,695,584. 3. United States 321,362,789. China has 4.2 times more people than the US and India 3.9 times as many people as the US. So the amount of people living in China is 4.2 times the amount of people living in the US. Astrononsensical. World population 7,219,519,500 January 22, 1415. Indiculate. A sphere. The sphere was here. Lower die shields. This is thy captain and picking. The quantum computer will be almighty or not. The Jesuits control the Supreme Court and the death ray, torture her, or not. People's emotions and brains, whatever they think, is controlled with synthetic telepathy or not. Better do what the Jesuit infant eaters want you to do. Die. Lol. All forms of torture are morally objectionable and an abomination to humankind. James Smith, Captain USA 36 minutes ago. Yes, brother, he would. Because his torture is not honorable and cannot be rationalized as good in any fashion. To reply, share. Democrat battled him an hour ago. Somebody told me that you wanted to kill Americans. We'll just torture you for a few years and see if we can find out. You should do it to the tortures that are ruining your lives, not to each other. Killing how mean? The Jesuit infant eaters will kill you all by playing you out against each other. And by creating problems like the global Ebola pandemic and that line for Iran. The torture is done with herb. Types of herb torture: dental torture, Q torture, diarrhea torture, skin burning torture, lobotomy torture, sexual suppression torture, thought suppression torture, psychic suppression torture, cancer herb torture, bad weather hurricane torture, aluminium-resistant Monsanto seed chemtrails with slow kill vaccines torture, sterilization torture, skin burning ADS mode torture, maximum amount of pain induction by stimulating the nerves directly in pulsed energy projectile mode, needle sting torture, a form of skin burning torture, people cookers torture, remember voices in the head of the quantum computer torture, blocking your PC torture, crashing fly-by wireless energy planes into the WTC. Not torture, burning people torture. The torture is done with HERP with wireless energy, scalar technology, in reality, not with lasers, satellites, cancer, cell phone, microwave radiation, ground wave emergency network, though these things are also used to depopulate the earth in violation of the Genocide Convention. The Jesuits are famous for their torture, and their torture devices are online. They have tortured 60 million people to death in their Inquisition. Nowadays they use the cancer scalar HERP in Poker Flats, Alaska. They were expelled from 83 countries and cities. Synthetic telepathy is described in the Malek patent. See synthetictelepathy.com for that. The word torture into torturer. The opposite of torturing is pleasure. Ring, echelon, echelov. Demoralization is phase 1 of active measures, also known as ideological subversion.
Peace in your mind, peace on earth, peace at work, peace at home, peace in the world.
It's to try and get people orientated to think peace, like eat for peace, breathe for peace, and dance for peace, and make love for peace, you know? To just have the peace like a mantra going round and round in your head.
Yes? True. I don't know. Nothing. Damn. I inhaled. I mean it this time. I inhaled. Tell them like it is. Look, when I was a kid, I inhaled frequently. Universal peace.
universalpeace.gmail.com.
Google the words Wix, W-I-X, and Ebolag, the word Ebola with a letter G attached to it, Wix Ebolag, or visit my channel on YouTube, youtube.com/user/Ulrich BC Hoffman, Hoffman with double F and double N, youtube.com/user/Ulrich BC Hoffman, or Skype me, Prologic 999, Prologic 999.
Yes, we can.
Here, you will be given a crash course on some basic physical principles behind invisibility, anti-gravity, time travel, and teleportation. This article seeks to explain how such feats have been achieved by covert research sectors of the military. The Philadelphia experiment, which concluded in 1943, and Montauk Project 40 years later, were famous cases where these seemingly science fiction technologies have been successfully put to the test, albeit with horrific consequences. Summary of the Philadelphia experiment. The Philadelphia experiment was part of a larger project called Project Rainbow, whose purpose was induction of radar invisibility in Navy ships.
Yes.
In the Philadelphia experiment, tests were performed upon the USS Eldridge, a WWI Navy destroyer.
Indeed.
Research indicates that large degaussing coils were placed around the ship, between bulkheads, sides, and on deck, forming in essence a three-dimensional coil array with each coil at right angles to another. An additional fourth coil provided a random background field. When electricity of specific wave shape, frequencies, phase, and amplitude were pulsed into each of the three main coils, the ship suddenly lost its physical coherence, even to the point of invisibility as seen by observers at longer distances. It then disappeared altogether, teleported several hundred miles north, and came back in a matter of minutes. Upon inspection of the Eldridge after this event, men were found implanted in the ship's walls. Others walked around in a psychotic stupor, and the more unfortunate either burst into flames or vaporized when non-victims touched them physically. Very few on board survived in good health, but a close friend knew one such survivor and attests to the story's validity. This friend has passed on some critical information pertaining to how the Philadelphia experiment was conducted, from which some of the following theory is based. The main principle. Let's begin by discussing a few basic principles of physical reality vital in understanding how to manipulate it. Orthodox scientists have not been able to accomplish such feats because their education is a limited version of a more general theory where these phenomena are allowable. This is why you may not recognize some of these principles from what is remembered of your high school physics class. But if you read along, it will make sense. This will be kept simple, with non-technical terms and no math, so that anyone can understand this theory and add his own improvements where needed. The Hermetic axiom all is vibration is scientifically true since matter is made of electromagnetic waves. Matter, contrary to our eyes, is actually four-dimensional. It exists in a five-dimensional matrix of ether which provides a medium for electromagnetic waves to exist. This matrix is indeed five-dimensional, but the three-dimensional slice we see in this universe is so thin that moving through space. Each sea of ether is one universe or timeline, and parallel universes are stacked upon one another like flat pancakes to produce a six-dimensional stack correctly labeled as reality. The key to making matter invisible, sending it through space and time, or making it weightless is to utilize vibration in one of these dimensions. In 3D space, you can shake something back and forth, up and down, or left and right with few interesting effects. But reality is composed of more than 3 dimensions, and creating an electric or magnetic field that grabs onto matter and vibrates it into higher dimensions allows you to alter the characteristics of matter, different characteristics depending on which dimension the direction of vibration. Orthodox scientists are working within the 3D framework and hence are only able to produce the limited technology we see regularly today. Creating these hyperdimensional fields is achieved through special coil geometry and electrification of matter. Here is a table summarizing the techniques to be discussed in the remainder of this article.
I'm just showing you some pages from the internet.
I don't know if you can hear this. So I'm just showing you all some pages on the internet I like for Universal Peace.
But we must never forget to kill more Americans.
What concerns you most? Economic collapse, police state, surveillance state, illegal immigration, gun control, medical tyranny/Obamacare. View results. Infowars.com. What concerns you most? Economic collapse, police state, surveillance state, illegal immigration, gun control, medical tyranny/Obamacare. What concerns you most? Economic collapse, 37%, 888 votes. Police state, 26%, 618 votes. Gun control, 14%, 329 votes. Illegal immigration, 8%, 193 votes. Medical tyranny/Obamacare, 8%, 186 votes. Surveillance state, 7%, 185 votes. Total voters, 2,399. Cops abuse new eavesdropping laws by Infowars.com. 0 comments. Russia officially punishes those breaking GMO labeling laws by Mike Bear. 191 comments. http://ulrichkaufman.wix.com/ Ebola. Spread take colloidal silver, the only Ebola cure flyers in New York and at airports to inform Ebola-struck countries. Spread this idea rapidly or the amount of cases will increase exponentially. Colloidal silver kills the Ebola virus and its mutations because of its mechanism of action, which has scientifically been proven by the DoD Strategic Threat Reduction Agency and UCLA. In reply to activist Mall Kiosk blasts Obama's Ebola response, Obama Mall Kiosk exposes Ebola tyranny, posted October 20, 2014. all leave no trace. So the Jesuits' plan is using the CDC and WHO to spread a global pandemic by keeping the borders of infected countries open, declaring a level 6 pandemic, home quarantining 7 billion people, extermination of 7 billion people with rabies-based, zombifying vaccines, finishing the rest with nuclear weapons. See Plan 8888 of the Pentagon covered by CNN. Margaret Chan and George Soros are committee of 300 members, subversive body of the Club of Rome. Released Ebola nurse Cassie Hickox works for CDC. Her lawyer is a White House visitor. Everything the CDC does is to create a global Ebola pandemic rather than to prevent one. Blocking the only cure, colloidal silver, and pretending there is no cure for Ebola and fearmongering to inject everybody with deadly, zombifying rush through slow-kill vaccines to reduce the world's global population, makes that absolutely clear. Washington, CNN, a 21-day quarantine for all military personnel serving in Ebola-stricken areas of West Africa was approved by Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel Wednesday. They may have given the virus an incubation period of 41 days to spread a global pandemic is their goal. The rush-through vaccines, of which the long-term effects have never been tested, are designed to slow-kill the world's global population and turn people into zombies. This is why they are rabies-based. Rabies has a kill rate of about 100% once injected, and they contain self-replicating brain-eating nanotechnology, lipid nanotechnology, and TKM Ebola, of which the long-term effects have never been tested either. They will not have enough vaccines, so that is why they have planned nuclear attacks to quote wipe out zombie hordes unquote. Because colloidal silver kills the Ebola virus effectively as proven by the SDRA of the DoD and UCLA, we know that the rush-through vaccines are slow-kill vaccines designed to depopulate the Earth with an incubation period of their choosing. Chemtrails may be used to spread the Ebola virus once it is airborne, which it will become once temperatures fall below 7 degrees Celsius. People that do not take colloidal silver will become infected, and most of them will die and spread the virus to others that have not immunized themselves with the colloid. Once enough people are infected, we will be nuked, which is clear from Plan 8888 and the insane preemptive nuclear doctrine in violation of the Prevention of Nuclear War Agreement. The Pentagon has planned to nuke 7 billion people after zombifying them with vaccines that are rabies-based for that reason, because rabies kills almost 100% of the rabies-infected people. This is clear from the Pentagon's Plan 8888, maintain emergency plans to employ nuclear weapons within the continental United States to eradicate zombie hordes. From Pentagon document lays out battle plan against zombies by Jamie Crawford, CNN national security producer, May 16, 2014. None without a Tesla plasma shield would survive. MAD mutually assured disarmament. Prevention of nuclear war agreement. Their stated goal is killing about 7 billion people to reduce the world's global population to about 500 million. The plan they are using to do this is Global 2000. Several top-secret recommendations were made by Dr. Aurelio Peche of the Club of Rome. He advocated that a plague be introduced that would have the same effect as the famous Black Death of history. The chief recommendation was to develop a microbe which would attack the autoimmune system and thus render the development of a vaccine impossible. The orders were given to develop the microbe and to develop a prophylactic and the cure. The microbe would be used against the general population and would be introduced by vaccine. The prophylactic was to be used by the ruling elite. The cure will be administered to the survivors when it is decided that enough people have died. The cure will be announced as newly developed when in fact it has existed from the beginning. This plan is a part of Global 2000. The prophylactic and the cure are suppressed. From the book, Something in This Book is True by Bob Frisell, page 51. Popes eating infants as part of their initiation ritual according to Vatican documents and eyewitness testimonies. George Soros and Margaret Chan are committee of 300. subversive body of the Club of Rome members, and one of the goals of the Committee of 300 is a population reduction in violation of the Genocide Convention and common decency and sense. At the moment, the global Ebola pandemic is still stoppable, but only with colloidal silver proven to effectively kill Ebola by the STRA of the DoD and UCLA. Commit the 300. Area 50. C? Not DC. Leave no trail of evidence. Chemtrails? CIA's Evergreen Air. U.S. Bioweapons Lab with links to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation at core of the Ebola epidemic. A very important point is that Ebola is probably among the American population, and most of the American Ebola patients will be misdiagnosed like Eric Duncan and treated with ineffective antibiotics. There may have been several Ebola deaths in the US and in other countries around the world. Even the CDC admits that the probable number of real cases is about 3 times higher than their official estimates. The physicians and doctors would most probably misdiagnose the Ebola patients and may be carriers of the virus. The incubation period of the virus is now officially 42 days, which could indicate the release of a less deadly, more virulent and airborne type of Ebola, which becomes airborne at 7 degrees Celsius to create a global Ebola pandemic. New Ebola cases unrelated to West African outbreak. September 2, 2014, the World Health Organization has just confirmed that the newly identified cases of Ebola virus disease, EVD, in the Democratic Republic of Congo is genetically unrelated to the strain currently circulating in Liberia, Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Nigeria. A WHO collaborating research center in Franceville, Gabon, the Centre International de Recherches Médicales, had previously identified 6 Ebola-positive samples sent to the laboratory. They report today that the virus in the Bone district is definitely not derived from the virus strain currently circulating in West Africa. The index case has been clearly identified as a pregnant woman from a Kanamungo village who died on August 11 after preparing bushmeat that her husband had hunted. Forbes.com/site/David Grohl/2014/09/02/ Ebola-outbreaks-unrelated-in-Democratic-Republic-of-Congo. Of course, they may have spread several engineered Ebola strains which may have been spread in chemtrails and have an incubation period of 42 days. Anybody checking or testing the ingredients of the CIA's Evergreen Air's chemtrails? Nope. My mother was born on August 11th. My birthday is on Remember the 5th of November together with Moby and Herman Brood. In my opinion, their planned Ebola pandemic is unstoppable without colloidal silver. Take the colloid or die. Ebola vaccines equals 666 in English gematria. Letter value, Gematrix.org/ word equal Ebola %20 vaccines. The letter A in English gematria equals 6, B12, etc. Read how to prevent and survive their planned global Ebola pandemic on my blog, Google Wix Ebolag. Other words and names with the letter value 666 according to Gematrix.org. Sarah L. Palin, Michelle Bachmann, Mark of Beast, Computer Witchcraft, Monsanto, New York, Democrat Obama, Santa Claus, Beast Test, Helicopter Teleport, Ram Emanuel Illusion, $, New Mexico Lustful, Ebola Vaccines, Kissinger, Demon Inside, Sanskrit, Talking Hands, Knighthood, Dollar Crush, No More Cash, Anarchy USA, American Beast, Dark Matter. Is Obama in reality Amapio? Please take care of Obama. He should be the first one to get the shot. Heck, as a preventive measure he could get the same vaccine they used on Duncan.
All these groups together are less than 1% of the world's global population. So you have Agenda 1 committee of 300 people, the Rockefellers, Freemasons, Knights of Malta, the Jesuits, and Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Kissinger, and some others together are less than 1% of world's global population. And they want to reduce the world's population. Some of them want to kill 99%, some 90%. Rockefeller with the Georgia Guidestones, 93%, to reduce the world's global population to 500 million. Under the pseudonym Robert Christian. So there is Georgia Guidestones according to the sources online. And it's his Nazi eugenics program. And according to Benjamin Fulford, Rockefeller controls HAARP. So I've determined the direction of the beam with the ground as a Van de Graaff generator. There's some delay and I have to get used to the mic. Not to spit in a microphone. Okay, we continue the speech engine.
We find rain. We find a grave. We fade the grade. Because of the torture I am yawning all day. It's Kasmiki. They blue beam. Tehran. I'm the clown. Tyrannians. Ebola fears clogging ERs nationwide, when it's usually the flu, fever, headache, muscle aches. Forget about Ebola, chances are astronomically higher that you have the flu or some other common bug. By the Associated Press posted, 10/31/2014, this type of thinking will not help to isolate the problem and prevent a global Ebola pandemic. A reliable, cheap Ebola test must be developed and used. Of course, the borders of Ebola-struck countries must be closed. It is a lie that they cannot and that it would make the problem worse. Preventing a global Ebola pandemic is more important. Just use colloidal silver, the colloid kills Ebola. If you want to get rid of Ebola, you have to rule out that it spreads completely and without closing the borders of infected countries to migration and quarantining every possible Ebola case, you cannot. Especially when most people do not use colloidal silver regularly, Ebola will spread rampantly. Perhaps there is a map of how Ebola will spread already. Nope, I checked, so it's not online or not found with the search terms I used. If desert sand can reach us, then Ebola cannot reach us. Lol. It's not airborne. Experts warn deadly Ebola virus could spread to Britain through mead, dailymail.co.uk, also via FOMODS if the borders of infected countries are not closed. Also via air if the people that wrote they have released 2 strains, one of which, the Ebola Lozatec Chimera virus, is airborne, alright. The only thing we all need to know is that colloidal silver kills the Ebola virus as proven by the Department of Defense's SDRA and UCLA, University of California. Find a way to let everybody know, for example via the mainstream media. Because this planned Ebola pandemic is still in its beginning phase and Ebola spreads exponentially, now is the time to make everybody take colloidal silver. Nano, what cares? Weapons of self-destruction. If they have 7 billion rabies-based slow-kill vaccines ready, most of these 7 billion people will die within 40 days. It is not probable. Most people will die of the home quarantines, Kissinger's favorite method. Once Ebola goes airborne, water sources will be contaminated. So we must find ways to collect rainwater or make a big water reservoir. Ebola dies at 60 degrees Celsius, so boil and filter the water first. Could this version of Ebola spread via seawater? Medical errors, a leading cause of death. Prescription drugs, leading killer in USA, universalpeace.devlogs.org. The map on the BBC website with the article, No Forced Quarantine for Nurse Cassie Hickox, shows a decline in the amount of Ebola deaths in Liberia, but this is just the amount of reported cases. The actual number may be a lot higher in reality, and the amount of Ebola deaths is still on the rise in Guinea and Sierra Leone according to the BBC map, which not many people have reported about, like about the decline in new Ebola deaths in Liberia. They are downplaying the risk of a global Ebola pandemic to create one. Why did Obama order 1 million hazmat suits, and why do healthcare workers wear respirators with compressed air if it's not airborne? Someone should check if Ebola can survive in seawater and if it is in the chemtrails daily. You realize all of this now, no matter where you are on the planet, because of this hypnosis. Use a respirator suit. Decontamination. He Cox. CD. C. Infectageous. CK Cox High. Experiment. Toll. Faucine. February 11, 2014, 07:58. The Jesuit infant eaters have started torturing me more severely with herb. They are dissolving my spine with herb, which hurts a lot. Sources online confirm they are able to induce B-cell lymphoma, a type of cancer, with herb. The Jesuits, famous for pedophilia and torturing 60 million people to death in their Inquisition, were expelled from 83 countries. They also hurt my eyes in the morning to make them puffy and tear, and have tortured my mother to death with herb. I have tested the direction of the beam with a grounded Van der Graaf generator, which partially deflected the dental torture beam, herb. The perpetrators are focusing on torturing my throat. They also use Morgellons and hybrid insects to torture people. They also produce a loud ringing in the head, and Kevin Annett is controlled opposition for the Jesuits, so they are not arrested for the eating of the infants, despite 8 eyewitness testimonies and official Vatican documents that have proven beyond any reasonable doubt the Jesuits eat infants as part of their initiation ritual. Ebola will keep on spreading, and a cure will not be released until they have reduced the world's global population to 500 million. Weapons of self-destruction. Perhaps John Williams was killed by the Jesuit military order because of his weapons of self-destruction. 2009. They, CIA Jesuits, would make it look like suicide if he was. Don't be controlled by your thoughts. Control your thoughts. Prostitute prophecy. Everybody. Watch out, people. See list of pandemics caused by vaccinations and Google Wix Ebola. Do not take the influenza vaccine. Use colloidal silver. If we evolved from the monkeys, why are there no monkeys that are more like us? Monkeys capable of speaking, monkeys that walk on 2 legs? Because the ones that walked on 2 legs evolved into us? There may not have been many hominids from whence we evolved into humans. News call in November 2, 2014. Scientists predict 130 Ebola cases in us by end of 2014. Almost all of the predicted cases will be healthcare workers returning from West Africa. Obama's border policy-fueled epidemic, evidence shows. The evidence includes admissions from top health officials. Entire villages disappeared. Ebola deaths in Sierra Leone underreported. Ebola's toll on Sierra Leone is much greater than previously thought, with entire villages killed off by the virus. Vaccine junkies. I have thousands of articles that are not online. Terror cheer. It's here. In the name of terror, open your borders. Thank God Ebola is still spreading and they cannot stop it anymore. Finally, they are punished for not pressing charges against people that think the Earth's global population should be reduced and airborne Ebola would be ideal. The weak spineless bastards. They know you are the pedo quantum computer from Area 51. They made me write this because they know they cannot press charges. It's to terrorize everyone into submission. I hope the Jesuits die instead of the 7 billion people they had planned to exterminate. Ebola is still spreading with more cases in Guinea and Sierra Leone. Whole cities disappeared in Liberia, where the number of cases is underreported at the moment, March 11, 2014, for that reason. I think they have planned to spread it via the US and healthcare workers, especially military. Heard anything about the Tech Mirror case? Were they arrested and why not? They control the police with their death race, so your government is terroristic. Tech Mirror Pharma shares pop on first US Ebola case. The company equals CIA. The Academy equals Blackwater. Obama's code name is Renegade. US Department of Defense, USAMRIID, and Tulane University released bioengineered airborne Ebola Lassa hybrid in Sierra Leone, September 15, 2014. They claim that the Ebola virus has been bioengineered to become a new hybrid respiratory illness, allowing for airborne human-to-human transmission. Rings true. In 2009, Baxter contaminated 72 kilos of the seasonal flu vaccine with the deadly bird flu in its biosecurity Level 3 facilities in Austria, creating a combination which would have allowed for the airborne transmission of the deadly virus between humans. The primary Ebola strain being spread right now, as there are two, was bioengineered by the U.S. Department of Defense, via USAMRIID, and Tulane University with the knowledge help from pharma biotech giants such as Monsanto, Alnylam, Bristol Myers Squibb, Merck, Pfizer, and a much smaller pharma company based out of Canada called Tecmira. A known Ebola strain from Central Africa was used as the base, and was bioengineered to become a new hybrid respiratory illness, a combination of Ebola virus and Massa hemorrhagic fever, weaponized via Tulane University and USAMRIID at Fort Detrick, making it become a genetic variant of the original strain. This bioengineered hybrid allowed for airborne human-to-human transmission, an extended incubation period, to increase spread threat, and a slightly toned-down virility, to have the ideal initial wanted mortality rate, 40%. http://zeitgeist77.wordpress.com/ 2014/08/03/ US-Department-OF-Defense-USAMRIID-Release-This-Bio-Engineer-Air-Borne-Ebola-Lassa-Hybrid-Ebola Experiment Fog Vaccine. Safe country or hot at sea? Monsanto has helped develop a new plant-based technology for cultivating the Ebola virus and vaccine in cooperation with Tecmira, the Canadian company which carried out the live human trials in January with Pentagon funding. Did the novel variant of the Zaire Ebola virus come, in fact, from a U.S. bioweapons laboratory? Did U.S. bioweapons scientists working at Kina, pronounced Kan-Ema, hospital give a particularly lethal, bioengineered, weaponized strain of the Ebola virus to local people as part of the Tecmira clinical trials, which started in January, involve a Zaire Ebola virus, which seemed to have a missing cohort of healthy humans and which were funded by the Department of Defense? http://biotechnologyficus.ca/ Tecmira-doses-first-subject-in-clinical-trial-of-TKM-Ebola. Kan-Ema? The U.S. Department of Defense, DoD, funded an Ebola trial on humans which started just weeks before the Ebola outbreak in Guinea and Sierra Leone. It has emerged. http://www.drugs.com/ clinical_trial/ Tecmira-doses-first-subject-human-clinical-trial-TKM-Ebola-16415.html. The DoD gave a contract worth $140 million to Tecmira, a Canadian pharmaceutical company, to conduct Ebola research, which apparently involved injecting and infusing healthy humans with the deadly Ebola virus. The DoD is listed as a collaborator in a first-in-human Ebola clinical trial in CTO 2041715, which started in January 2014 shortly before an Ebola epidemic was declared in West Africa in March. The act faded. I doubt if there's anybody helping with depopulating. If we find one, we can take care of them. Global Safety 1. Have people pressed charges against Tecmira, and why have the people that think airborne Ebola would be ideal to kill 80 to 90% of the world's global population not been arrested yet? Cell quarantines. At a certain point they will be unable to hide new Ebola cases since the amount is increasing exponentially. Ebola lapel pin. Escalopus with Ebola around it. How many Ebola cases should US expect? Experts run models to predict exact numbers. Philip proven 7 hours ago. Answer: we should be able to expect no cases. Contrary to the entire concept on which our government was founded, however, the president refuses to do what 71% of Americans demand. Meanwhile, His CDC is removing information and changing wording that is not being pulled or changed by the WHO. These are stories on mainstream sites. It is a definition of tyranny. How reliable is and what Ebola test did they take? How can an Ebola test work if the virus is mutating fast and adapting itself to our DNA? Does the Circle of Nine have access to HERP? They will show you cases that have improved that may not have Ebola at all and misdiagnose real Ebola cases by controlling the doctors' minds with synthetic telepathy in the mainstream media. They will downplay the risk and do things to give people the illusion they are doing their job while in reality they are creating this pandemic by keeping borders of infected countries open, blocking colloidal silver shipment, pretending it's not airborne and avoid people from pressing charges with the death ray, HERP, also known as ionospheric heater, crop circle orbs and Foo Fighters. It is Tesla's wireless energy so scalar waves are real. I produce them myself but only healing ones and not terawatts. Amid Ebola outbreak, Bill Gates pledges more money to fight malaria, CBS News 7 hours ago share. Ebola is real. Quarantines, isolation, hazmat suits, respirators with compressed air, decontamination, and healthcare workers are obsolete and a complete and utter waste of taxpayer money because the Ebola virus is killed by colloidal silver, which makes clear it is an attempt to depopulate the earth. How can they know that the incubation period is now 42 days? Ava Marbar man? Ava Marblow man! I inhaled. Okay. Use colloidal silver or die of the zombifying rabies-based slow-kill vaccines with deadly nanotechnology which causes heart attacks and brain bleedings and home quarantines. http://ulrichkaufman.wix.com/ Epilogue. If people do not use colloidal silver and vitamin C, the borders of Ebola-struck countries stay open and people that could carry the virus are not tested because they do not show any symptoms. The amount of Ebola deaths will keep on increasing exponentially. This Ebola virus is designed to adapt to human DNA, interlock with other viruses, and one of the two released strains is airborne. A totally new type of Ebola strain has recently infected a person in Mali. Because Ebola kills about 70% of the infected, unlike influenza, everything must be done to contain and kill this virus, including closing the borders of infected countries instead of worldwide mandatory home quarantines. Colloidal silver must be spread to prevent mandatory vaccination at gunpoint. One thing is absolutely sure, Ebola is still spreading. Depopulate to 500 million? Yes, we can. A global Ebola pandemic can still be prevented with colloidal silver. Kill the tyrants that have tortured my mother to death with her, please. The Dutch male voice of the person torturing me could be the voice of a quantum computer in Delft, the Netherlands. I hope the torturer is caught, arrested, and if there is no other way to make the horrible torture with her stop, killed. We are all brain controlled. It is best to deny this to a shrink or quote doctor unquote, because otherwise they would pretend you are psychotic and force drug you to death with Zyprexa, for example, or other chemical, thus cancer-causing drugs. Because our brainwave is electromagnetic, we cannot prevent being brain controlled without a Tesla plasma shield, which is the only thing that blocks scalar waves. Any idea we have can be a thought sent with a quantum computer in our own inner voice. The beast computer can simulate any person, project immortality, it can speak any language, send voice to skull messages, read our minds, watch through our eyes, control muscle movement, kill us instantly with a heart attack or brain bleeding, and it is possible everyone is totally brain controlled at this time. Thought suppression, sexual suppression and psychic suppression are real. 17.6 Hz added to cancer-causing tetra, for example. The brain control technique used as synthetic telepathy is explained in the Malek patent, remotely monitoring and altering people's brain waves. With a neurophone you can buy on eBay, you can send these intracranial messages, voices in the heads of people only the people you aim the device at can hear. Because our thoughts and emotions are controllable with the supercomputers Mark the Beast, we should do a self-hypnosis so we are not controlled by our emotions, only logic, because it can induce extreme emotions in unnatural amounts. Love, hate, fear, courage, happiness, sadness, any emotion by cloning the emotional part of a person's brainwave. Because we can always think of the opposite or the next idea, it cannot control our behavior, only our thoughts to a certain extent at the moment. This is one of the reasons some want to depopulate to 500 million. 500 million totally brain-controlled sterile sex slaves that do everything the pedo and fin-eating Jesuits want them to do. It will attempt to let you deny that it is able to control your mind, your brain wave, which is electromagnetic and therefore totally controllable. The torture is done by one, Dutch-speaking, male perpetrator or quantum computer. It is clearly done by a so-called supercomputer, Mark the Beast, which is clear from the way it tortures me. When I lie down in my waterbed on my left or right side, it starts attacking my brain with a beam I can feel with my hand. When I stand in front of the mirror or massage my father's neck, it attacks my spine. In the morning, it attacks my eyes. Because it is with me 24 hours a day, it must be a computer program. Also because it showed me it can control a centipede I caught in the UMC hospital. It often blocks the letter S when I type and also when I speak. Monday, 3rd November 2014, 22:51. The perpetrators have blocked my attempts to post my spread colloidal silver flyer to ABC News, where I registered to be able to post messages, but I never received the confirmation email, not in my spam folder either. They were also blocking a YouTube video earlier. The audio was audible but the video not visible, black screen. They also block the YouTube reply messages so I can not spread the message to prevent their planned illegal Ebola vaccine depopulation. This is illegal interfering with evidence of a clear attempt to commit genocide, evidence of incitement to commit genocide, directed energy weapon torture. I should have the right to press charges, haven't I? And conspiracy to commit genocide. After restarting the browser, it worked. I posted to some YouTube videos, but the ABC News confirmation mail was still not received. I checked the email address and the spam folder of my Yahoo Mail and filled them incorrectly. The message I wanted to post on ABC News was http://ulrichkaufman.wix.com/ Ebola, spread take colloidal silver, the only Ebola cure flyers, in New York and at airports to and from Ebola-struck countries. Spread this idea rapidly or the amount of cases will increase exponentially. Colloidal silver kills the Ebola virus and its mutations because of its mechanism of action, which has scientifically been proven by the DoD Strategic Threat Reduction Agency and UCLA. http://ulrichkaufman.wix.com/ Ebola. Government agencies across the world are rushing to snap up protective gear as concerns about the spread of the Ebola virus continue to dominate, with Lakeland Industries announcing that it has received 1 million orders for hazmat suits alone. Government agencies scramble to purchase hazmat suits. Orders from one company surpass 1 million as concerns about Ebola linger. A hazmat suit, hazardous materials suit, is a piece of personal protective equipment that consists of an impermeable whole-body garment worn as protection against hazardous materials. Such suits are often combined with self-contained breathing apparatus, SCBA, to ensure a supply of breathable air. Survival is all. Recovery begins with non-compliance. Fearmongering is good if it is coupled to the slow kill vaccines and the fact that colloidal silver kills Ebola. Fearmongering to prevent a global Ebola pandemic. Some people think the Earth is overpopulated, which is a lie, and they think airborne Ebola would be ideal to reduce the world's global population to about 500 million. More evidence and crucial information everyone should have access to on the following blog, http://ulrichkaufman.wix.com/ Ebola. Is blocking travel from Ebola countries racist? It is not racist because the African people in struck countries will also travel to other countries in Africa if the borders are not closed. Preventing a global Ebola pandemic is more important. Ebola is not influenza. If all possible Ebola-infected people are given colloidal silver, then there cannot be a global Ebola pandemic. With open borders, we should all be concerned about Ebola and take colloidal silver, not just the healthcare workers. Especially when we know healthcare workers wearing suits were infected and died. And there are people that are keen on creating rather than preventing a global Ebola pandemic. Healthcare workers, please use colloidal silver for your own safety and the safety and health of the people of planet Earth. Please stop injecting people with slow-kill Ebola vaccines which are designed to create a global Ebola pandemic. Trust no one, nothing is what it seems. Recovery begins with non-compliance. Preventing a global Ebola pandemic is more important than what they have to say about Ebola. Every life saved equals a new timeline. We all want to become eternal. If they are not going to spread colloidal silver, quarantines, not isolation, are a way to prevent a global Ebola pandemic. BSL-4 is required by law. CDC shuts down by terror and flu labs, 327 deadly pathogens misplaced. I think it's not going to happen. This is tyranny. Terror herb tyranny. Do it with your hate beam troll. When we hear the voices, sick. Remember alert. What they didn't do, I get it. Impalement ain't pretty. The torturer also sexually abused me with herb, also hurting my anus, and said he liked me via my throat. They can also speak via my nose. It's done with synthetic telepathy. Brain melting, personality switch, is real. Yeah, after that we are really tyrannized. So I don't remember Project Cloverleaf, Rex 84 and Project Cable Spulser. So that's why no Israelis are going to fight Ebola. They know they can't win. They will make it big. Pandemic pedos will kill me, not you all. How are we going to get it out of Africa? Spreading Ebola is easy, also in chemtrails. Perhaps we are all infected already. The incubation period may be longer to spread it swiftly. So nobody is checking whether anybody is tortured with directed energy and or scalar weapons. Telepathy. They cannot stop Ebola from spreading because it is very easy to spread. It is done in a scientific manner thought up by the quantum computer. The Jesuits are a doomsday cult that have set their minds on reducing the world's global population to 500 million with Europe. We are watching the beast because they are all brain controlled like us. Deaf concern. Some in DoD could go airborne. Stars and Stripes No 3, 2014. They know colloidal silver kills Ebola, proven by DoD's STRA. So how can they worry about that then? Do they just pretend they worry about it to fearmonger and inject people with their death in a vial? Oh yeah, to help depopulate. Only allowed if you keep it secret. Hazmat suits a way to block the Ebola stigma but not Ebola. Cause it's not airborne. Just ignore the part that says there's no cure for Ebola. CNN 16 hours ago. Pentagons can plan 8888, maintain emergency plans to employ nuclear weapons within the continental United States to eradicate zombie hordes. From Pentagon document lays out battle plan against zombies by Jamie Crawford, CNN national security producer, May 16, 2014. Dr. Brantley, 33 years old. Dr. Spencer, 33 years old. Nurse Hickox, 33 years old. Journalist Magbo, 33 years old. 4 faces of Ebola in America. All are 33 years old. New World Order. Let the quarantines begin. Dr. Brantley, 33, had been given a unit of blood from a 14-year-old boy. Why is there no wiki article on Dr. Brantley? The condition of Dr. Craig Spencer, 33, improved over the weekend but has since remained unchanged, City Health Department officials said. New York Daily News? Declaring Ebola fears in the United States. Hickox, 33, said she was pleased with the ruling and said PeopleReuters.com, an American video journalist with ties to Halifax being treated for Ebola, has been declared Ebola-free. Ashoka Magbo, 33, received an CBC call. People must prepare now, because if when this hits the police, firearms RNs will stay home with their families. I guarantee you we are not being told the truth of the situation at all. I think Ebola is still spreading, but other people seem to think Ebola was stopped in its tracks.
Nation or system. There are not such people in USSR. Even those who have all the reasons to enjoy socialism, people like myself, were a member of journalistic elite, protect my family. Characteristic that at each particular time there are close to 25 to 30 million Soviet citizens who are virtually kept as slaves in forced labor camp systems. But obviously Communist Party had different plans for my genes, so I had to, and it was greatest misconception and a very tragic misunderstanding. Of course, Look magazine was not distributed in USSR. The main audience was in the United States.
They served some purpose, wouldn't they be the ones to rely on?
They serve purpose only at the stage of destabilization of a nation. For example, your leftists in the United States, all these professors and all these beautiful civil rights defenders, they are instrumental in the process of the subversion only to destabilize a nation.
Ebola can be anywhere now because the borders are open. Most people will be misdiagnosed in this beginning phase. The Olympian struck again. We know you're FSB. And the people in Russia can claim you're CIA blah blah blah. Lol Jesuit. The torturers do not accept any form of control. They may pretend they do and tell you any lie to control your behavior. They want to control you, or at least have the illusion they do, or they may exterminate you. They are compartmentalized, and some of them are abusing the new technology to torture the innocent, especially the people that have exposed their illegal activities, and to depopulate the earth. They are trying to ridicule the truth because they know they did it. Adolf Hitler also wanted a new world order. Depopulation, genocide equals population control, new world order equals global government, centralization, decentralization, who cares? LOL. Without the LOL it wouldn't be funny. According to Conplan 8888, the zombies' rabies patients cannot live longer than 40 days, so then there would be no need to nuke them. In other words, I disagree if that's the plan. Exclusive. US. Ebola researchers plead for access to virus samples. It's patented, so if they want access they have to pay. Microbiologist and infectious disease expert Dr. Charles Chu of the University of California, San Francisco, needs samples from Ebola patients to develop a new genetic test that could detect the disease in infected individuals before symptoms appear. Does this mean they cannot detect the disease in infected individuals before symptoms appear? November 5, 2014, Tulane University, one of the institutions, received samples this week, and the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, said it has reached an agreement to get live specimens, but it is not clear if new supplies will satisfy demand, and transport remains challenging. U.S. Department of Defense, USAMRIID, and Tulane University released bioengineered airborne Ebola Lassa hybrid in Sierra Leone, September 15, 2014. They claim that the Ebola virus has been bioengineered to become a new hybrid respiratory illness, allowing for airborne human-to-human transmission, rings true. Tulane University. The primary Ebola strain being spread right now, as there are two, was bioengineered by the U.S. Department of Defense, via USAMRIID, and Tulane University with the knowledge help from pharma biotech giants such as Monsanto, Alnylam, Bristol Myers Squibb, Merck, Pfizer, and a much smaller pharma company based out of Canada called Tecmira. A known Ebola strain from Central Africa was used as the base, and was bioengineered to become a new hybrid respiratory illness, a combination of Ebola virus and Lassa hemorrhagic fever, weaponized via Tulane University and USAMRIID at Fort Detrick, making it become a genetic variant of the original strain. This bioengineered hybrid allowed for airborne human-to-human transmission, an extended incubation period to increase spread threat, and a slightly toned-down virility to have the ideal initial wanted mortality rate, 40%. Zeitgeist 77, Sierra Leone closes as bioweapons lab AT Center OF Ebola outbreak, stops Tulane University from Ebola testing, July 24, 2014, Merck, Hey Waters, transparency? ? We should just say what the quantum computers wanna hear. Illuminati, hypnotic triggers, buzzwords, redeem beam. Wee wee hee hey. This is wonderful. This is not terror. Crow said a mutation in a key area of the virus could compromise the utility of the drug. Most people with Ebola would be misdiagnosed in our country because Ebola is very uncommon in our country. Ebola outbreak, UK center opening in Sierra Leone. BBC News 3 hours ago. Just say no. Norovirus, enterovirus D68, influenza, same symptoms as Ebola? Yes. Take colloidal silver please, don't let them do this to us. The popular British newspaper states, scientists have discovered that they can attach tiny stats of silver onto the surface of otherwise harmless bacteria, giving them the ability to destroy viruses. They have tested the silver-impregnated bacteria against norovirus, which causes winter vomiting outbreaks, and found that they leave the virus unable to cause infections. The researchers now believe the same technique could help to combat other viruses, including influenza and those responsible for causing the common cold. The news article goes on to state that in addition to fighting food poisoning viruses such as the norovirus, they're responsible for